Ashraaf Islamic Foundation has called on Ulamas, religious scholars, and Muslims across the country to strictly adhere to Allah's law and the teachings of the Holy Prophet on inheritance. Dr. Sharafuddin Aliga, founder and chairman of Ashraaf, made the call at the Foundation's 6th annual Maulid Nabi Lecture Series 2023, 1445 AH in Abuja. The theme of this year's lecture is Inheritance, dissecting a sensitive but critical aspect of human life.
The heirs are always the victims because if, for example, a head of a particular family disagree with the law of Allah and says, no, you cannot share this, it is not yet time, I have some reason I don't want to tell you right now, such a leader of such a family is depriving the heirs their rights. It is their right to have the shares of their late one according to Islamic law. Like a father who dies, who has children and wife, he has his father, his mother who are still alive. These are the basic heirs of the deceased person. So no one should stop them, and in an attempt to stop this or to cheat one another, there's always a conflict in the family that tears family apart. This is the kind of conflict we're talking about. Or for a woman to say, no, how can you tell me Islam says I should take half of what my younger brother would take? These are some of the things that bring about conflict, and these are the things we want to acquaint our people in the hall, those who are attending our program today, to have better understanding, to follow the suit and follow the laws of Allah as it's stated in the Holy Quran concerning inheritance, so that each and every one of us can live in peace and harmony when we go by the laws of Allah and the Sunnah of the Holy Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. We should not remain Muslim only by names, because if we fail to go by the law of Allah in the Holy Quran and as it is embedded in the Sunnah of Rasulullah, and we call ourselves Muslims, we are not ready to accept the sharing formula we have in the Holy Quran, then we are not complete Muslims. My call to them is, let's adhere to the rules of Allah, the teachings of the Holy Quran on the concept of inheritance. That makes you a complete Muslim.
Also, the chairman of the board of directors of Jais Bank PLC, Alhaji Muhammad bin Tube, emphasized that the theme was topical.
Whenever there is money, power and influence involved, there's always infighting, intimidation, insincerity. So that's why this conference is very, very important. The issue of inheritance is not only about the people that inherit the wealth. It's not only for themselves, it's a trust for them given by Allah, given by the Almighty. And therefore, they should make sure that this is not only multiplied, but it goes round to help themselves, their families, their communities, their relation, and the country. Because the government alone cannot solve the problems we have of poverty, insecurity, etc.
Similarly, a Christian cleric, Father Stephen Ojepa from the Reverend Cooker Center, said the same dynamic that happens in Christianity concerning inheritance is the same that happens in Islam. The event, held in Abuja, was attended by relevant stakeholders from across the country.
I don't want to look at it from the angle of religion, really. I would prefer to look at it from the angle of humanity. Because inheritance, nobody wants to be left out. The same dynamics that happens in Christianity is the same dynamics that happens even in Islam, between Igbos, between Hausa. So I prefer to look at it from the angle of humanity. And human beings have always shown that if it favors them, they want to be selfish. If it doesn't favor them, they can fight to whatever level. So human beings are the same, and we see these stories in Europe, we see it in Africa, we see it in Igbos, we see it among the Yorubas, we have seen it among Christians, we have seen it among kings and among poor people. So it is actually a human problem. It is not a religious problem. Thankfully, we are grateful to Ashraaf and Islamic Foundation that has brought it to our national consciousness.